And staying in the UK, hashtag no safe space for Jew hate. That's the motto for a 48-hour boycott from social media by many notable Jewish commentators and personalities that began this morning. Now, the idea started in the UK after the British rapper known as Wiley began an anti-Semitic rant on Twitter and Instagram featuring posts like this. In fact, there are two sets of people who nobody has really wanted to challenge, a hashtag Jewish and hashtag KKK, but being in business for 20 years, you start to understand. Well, this kind of thing went on and on for over 24 hours, despite repeated pleas by Jewish groups and commentators, and actually by plenty of non-Jews as well, that he should be blocked. Well, joining us now for more on this from London is Marie van der Zeel, president of the Board of Deputies of British Jews in London. Marie, thanks for joining us. Well, for a lot of people, staying 48 hours off of social media is not going to be easy. So talk about why it's important, especially after this last incident with this rapper Wiley.
Well, it's a 48-hour silence from Twitter and Instagram, and it's necessary because the Jewish community here has had enough of the big social media giants not tackling racism and not dealing with it seriously. This rapper, as you rightly said, had 24 hours of tweets. He was initially only banned for a couple of hours and suspended for 7 days. And he's got 500,000 followers, and it's not good enough that the social media giants ignore racism. They take vast amounts of advertising money, and it's about time they take responsibility. And we need to have legislation. We need to make sure that they accept the IRA international definition of anti-Semitism. We're looking to have moderators and an ability for there to be punitive fines for breach of standards by these social media giants. We cannot continue in this way, and the community is now having a 48-hour silence to make that protest known.
Right. Now, Marie, this issue is one that's well known to the American Jewish community. There, for example, the Anti-Defamation League, which once partnered with Facebook, for example, has tried to contact through advertisers and try to make some advertisers stop dealing with Facebook if they don't police there. Why do you think this affects? Is this really, I mean, let's be honest, Twitter and Instagram are giants, and certainly even the Jewish community and its supporters in the UK would barely make a dent in it. So where do you see, I guess it's more symbolic, but where do you see the next step, or where do you hope it will go from here?
Well, can I say both the AJC and the ADL are supporting the community in the 48-hour silence. And they may be very powerful media giants, but that doesn't stop us advocating for the community. Just a few weeks ago on Facebook, an individual posted that they wanted to bomb our organisation, and Facebook initially refused to do anything about it, saying that that threat didn't fall below their community standard, and this simply just cannot go on. So we're making our protest known, and this 48-hour silence is now known throughout the world. So we are making it known, and just because they're powerful, it doesn't mean that we're not going to advocate for the Jewish community, because we're against all forms of racism, and the spread of hate and racism online has got to be tackled responsibly by the social media giants. And if they refuse to do so, then we will be lobbying for effective legislation.
Well, let me ask you about that, because in the U.S., of course, there's more of a laissez-faire, if you want to call it free market or unregulated market attitude towards these things. The EU, which the UK is no longer part of, has taken a harder line on dealing with these media giants. Where does the UK fall in that spectrum right now?
Well, there is a right in the UK to free speech, but free speech does not mean hate speech. And what we're seeing online, and some of the things that you said, are clearly incitement to racial hatred, which is a crime, and the police should be prosecuting. So there is more that can be done. And even if they are powerful social media giants, it doesn't mean that they can't then become subject to legislation.
Right, and we're now, I guess, well into the first day of this boycott. How do you see the response? Do you see it visibly? I mean, if you're looking on, briefly, looking on Twitter, do you see its impact?
Definitely, the whole community has come together. I don't know if you saw last night, Priti Patel fully understands and supports our Home Secretary, the situation. The Mayor, Sadiq Khan, has also come out in sympathy. The big American organizations, you mentioned ADL and also, as I said, the AJC. This is something that's gone right round the world. Just because it's a silence, it doesn't mean that we're not advocating. And I'm even on being interviewed with you. So you've heard our silence. I think silence can be very powerful. And
well, certainly can. It can carry a loud message. Marie Van de Ziel from the Board of Deputies of British Jews, thank you for joining us on the Rundown.